You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marci Persky. In this installment, Marci's breasts are out of balance. The dog has devoured something nearly irreplaceable, and in a post-Thanksgiving moment of candor, I admit to nearly poisoning someone. I love our artist, our YouTube artist, who's the same artist who did my book cover, and he's wonderful, works under the name of Less Toil. But I told him your breasts needed to be bigger, and he made one breast bigger so that you look completely lopsided.
Nice.
And my response was, like, did you not think that I would notice that Marci's breasts are all out of whack?
My husband would notice.
Oh, go ahead, rub it in, white-o Jew. The spousal unit around here would not notice if I took my shirt off and my breasts were stapled to my back.
No.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not a little out of whack. It's like one of them is the size of your garage and the other one is the size of a snow cone. You know, this is a very big difference.
I do not and never have had snow cone boobies.
I'm just saying that they're out of whack, that's all. So we're going to have them re-whacked. You should pardon the expression.
Okay.
Yeah.
Re-whack away.
And I'm frustrated because I'm reading this Pulitzer Prize winning novel, and half of it is in Spanish, which is just like really rude. I understand that you have a lot of Dominican pride, Juno Diaz. I get that. And but I'm spending half my time like with my phone. Like, what is a fea? I think that means a hooker.
I don't know.
I have to look it. I have to keep remembering. Like, there's something else I had to look up that's like a Dominican equivalent of a female spirit with her feet pointing backwards. This is not the kind of thing your average Americano knows. So
since we're complaining about foreign things,
yes,
we've been watching the series on Netflix, Outlander.
Yes, you had mentioned, yes.
Yes, well, we just finished up as far as Netflix has, and there are other seasons, but we can't get them in the United States. So I looked it up on Google on how, because all these people are accessing it through all these internet tricks.
Yes.
Which are so far over my head that I showed it to two of my technical kids, and they were both like, what?
None of them work?
I don't think that we have the technological advances up here yet at the top of the mountain to be able to do any of that.
Oh.
So we're stuck till 2024.
Oh.
For the next installment to come out. I'm just like, oh my gosh, how much time did we waste?
Well, sometimes, I don't know if this works, you can get your public library to get the disc of it if it's out on a disc.
Sony's blocked it from the United States.
Oh, that sucks. You just need, you know what? The same way they do those financial sites where you send the money and then they send the money. And
yeah,
you need somebody overseas who goes, you send me all the American content that's blocked over here, and I'll send you all the stuff in the UK that's blocked over there.
And then I'll tell them, all I need is your bank account number and your equivalent of your social security number.
You know, it's funny you should mention that because this particular money transfer site, big supporters of public broadcasting, which part of me thought, okay, I'll hook up my bank. And then part of me thought, wait a minute. I could buy an ad on public radio for Joe's Thievery and Catalytic Converter Shop. I mean, anyone really. Just because it's on public radio doesn't mean they vet it.
That's very, 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 very true.
And meanwhile, the company I want to pay to replace a part on something made in Italy they're so snotty, the Italians. They're worse than the French. Like, no, we don't take credit cards. No, no. And
Are you speaking to them in Dominican?
That's Spanish. The other's Italian. They both come from Latin, and I don't speak either one. So although I don't know, maybe they have goddesses with their feet pointing backwards in Italy too, for all I know. My great American ignorance here. But point being that I almost sent a couple of $100s to Italy just on faith. And then I thought, wait a minute, what kind of faith do they have in me if they won't even take my credit card, which is
That's
backed
right.
by an actual bank? Yeah. I mean, it's a couple of pieces of glass I need to buy for a lamp that broke, light fixture that broke. And they only make them there. And I mean, if I could, so every time, I don't know if you have this where there's something broken in your house and every time you look at it, it makes you mad all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've been mad at this thing for 4 years now.
All my furniture right now.
Well, that's that dog you adopted. You would think that after 4 years, I would just say, fine, some people go to Vegas and I'm going to transfer $200 to this mystery Italian business.
No.
No?
Don't do it.
Don't do it?
No.
You go to Vegas. You lose money on all kinds of things.
No, I win. I'm a winner.
Oh, sure you are.
Here's what a winner I am. You know what this is?
Internet address and password logbook, in case any.
Yep.
It actually says that right on the cover of it.
But if you can tell, it's been chewed up to shreds. It was found in the backyard.
Oh,
He took it right off my desk.
Oh, no. The first problem you have with that adopted menace you call a dog is that it eats everything. And the second problem is that it takes everything to go. But why would you have an internet password logbook right on your desk? I mean,
because I'm a moron.
Just rip the front of it off at least.
It was a black book, and he did rip the front and the back, including the page of the bill that I've been trying to pay for a week now.
The password to the payment site for the bill, you mean?
Yeah, and it's ridiculous how many hoops they make you jump through to try and reassess a website that you've lost access to.
Yeah, that's not easy.
This happens to be Frankie's business account, and I made up the whole account. I made up the account.
And then your dog ate your homework, and now you can't get into it anymore.
Exactly. And they want to know, like, his favorite sports figure.
The dog's favorite sports figure?
No, Frankie's.
Oh.
They want to know who his favorite sports person is. Who's the most famous person that he's ever met? I mean, just like these obscure questions that he changes his answer to every time I ask him.
Yeah. Well, see, I just make up that this is what the book is for.
I know, and
this is the pet's name and your first car. I'm like, I'm damned if I. Do you mean the first car that I bought myself, or the first car that like a boyfriend gave me because it had fallen apart and it was worth $200 and he didn't care about it anymore, or first car that my father bought so that I would get the heck out of the house, and that he went out to the garage and peeled through all the rust spots with his pocket knife till it looked like a Dr. Seuss clown car? Like, which car?
And I had all those answers right here in this chewed up, slimy little dog sweaty book.
But
yes, I'm also looking out at another thing that he ate. He ate the goat's swimming pool, literally.
Aww.
Like it was one of those big plastic $10 dollar store swimming pools.
Yes.
But who eats that?
Your dog.
I guess so.
I think that's kind of the answer to everything now. Your dog.
Your dog.
Now, you had a family meeting because you were going to rehome good old Butters.
Yes, we were.
And
we were, and we had a family meeting, and we did not rehome him. He's staying, and we're trying to be more diligent.
What does that mean? That you like strap yourselves to him, or what?
No, we make sure that if nobody has an eye on him, he's either outside in the backyard eating the swimming pool, or he's in his little doggy house in his crate. But obviously, I did not follow through because he got my book the day before yesterday.
Yeah, not going too well.
We have a new trainer coming on Saturday.
You guys, I mean, is he burying your trainers in the backyard? Because you're on like your fourth trainer now.
No, it's only the second. The first one moved to Phoenix.
Yeah, so, after meeting Butters, I'd move to Phoenix too.
This one is nearby.
My across the street neighbor, who I'm sure doesn't listen to this podcast, has one of those dogs that it's a Great Dane. It's very young. It's like 2 years old, and it fence fights with dogs that walk by when she's out in the yard. And so she says, whatever its name is, "Now, Duffer, that's a no, Duffer." And Duffer's seizing iron bars of the fence and bending them in half. And I'd just like to know what kind of planet these people grow up on that they think that a dog actually understands. Like, please don't do that, Duffers. Like, well,
yeah, we do not say please.
She didn't say please, but it was that tone of voice. Yeah. Now, Duffers. No. She's still got her butt in the air digging whatever she's digging in her yard, and there's Duffer foaming.
You better get a Great Dane under control.
Yeah, you really.
Yeah.
And the other thing about her Great Dane, the last one, was that it barked incessantly and cleared out the apartment in that building. And I felt so bad for the people who bought the house next door. And then she moved in. They built a 3-story condo building behind our house, and that made less noise than Duffer.
Maybe she needs my trainer.
That's a good idea. I think the whole neighborhood would happily contribute to buy Duffer and my neighbor a plane ticket to Arizona. Can you put her up there for a few months?
No.
So tell me, your family was supposed to make your Thanksgiving dinner, and you were going to lock yourself in your bedroom in order not to spin into orbit that they weren't doing things exactly the way you wanted them done. So how'd that go?
Well, luckily, the Lions game was actually really exciting for the first time in a millennium.
Uh-huh.
So I was glued to the TV up till the very last 2 seconds when they lost. And Frankie cooked the whole dinner himself single-handedly.
Huh. How did it go?
It was great. And he wants you to know that he didn't open up the jar of gravy. He used a packet of gravy that came stuffed inside the turkey.
Well, I had, for the first time, a kitchen disaster on a dish.
Uh-oh.
And it came from second-guessing myself. We were joining my girlfriend at her beautiful lakeside home. My girlfriend's vegetarian, and we like eating vegetarian at Thanksgiving. We're not big turkey fans. So I made, have you ever had mock duck in a Chinese restaurant?
No.
Well, it's gluten, basically. It's seitan. It's nothing you would probably eat until you ate it. And then you'd go, oh, this is okay. It tastes a little like meat, which is sort of the idea. So I've made this 4, 5, 6 times before, but this time I looked at the dough that you're supposed to cut into the little cutlets, and I thought, that looks a little dry. Better knead it some more. That looks a little dry. Better put in some more broth. Looks a little dry. Better put in some more sesame oil. Well, by the time I cooked it,
it was a slime.
Had the texture of chewing gum. I mean, you could stretch it. It was like silly putty. So I had to make another batch. And I brought the other batch, and then I brought some that was like the quarantine batch, and I made our family eat it so that other people could have the good stuff.
Here, you eat Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
We ate the Wrigley gum version with really good gravy, by the way, that we made from scratch. So there.
It didn't come in the box?
Nope, not at all. There was a moment of tension. I unwittingly provided a near-death experience for one of the guests. I was under the impression that one of the carnivorous guests would simply avoid one of the vegetarian dishes I was making because she could not eat mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this poor woman comes in the door, sees me cooking, and nearly glues herself to the chandelier in terror. Are those mushrooms? Oh my God, I'm going to end up in the hospital.
If she sees them?
Well, she was worried that we would get some kind of mushroom juju on the rest of the food. So I spent a lot of time cleaning around the pot. It was fine. I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody, but there's nothing like knowing that something you're making could kill somebody. Puts the fear of God and gravy into you for sure.
I worry about that anytime I cook.
About killing people?
Yeah, someone in my family is allergic to celery, which is like the weirdest allergy in the world.
It's very strange, the things that people are allergic to.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time kind of shepherding my food around the kitchen, keeping it far away. You don't mind being careful. You don't want to hurt anybody, but Thanksgiving was kind of not my best shining culinary moment because on the one hand, I'd wrecked my vegetarian main course, and on the other hand, I was feverishly cleaning around my vegetable side dish so it wouldn't injure anyone.
That sucks.
Let's put it this way. I am not counting on an invitation for next year. If you've made it this far, chances are you've been enjoying Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. In which case, you might also like my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. You can find that at your neighborhood independent bookstore or on Amazon. Marci and I really appreciate your good reviews wherever you care to leave them. Your kind words help the podcast grow. Thanks.